You know you need to market your business, but every time you think about selling yourself or promoting your products and services, something inside you just cringes. Maybe you've tried some marketing strategies, but they left you feeling icky. Or, like a lot of Christian entrepreneurs, maybe you just avoided marketing altogether because it felt manipulative and unspiritual. By the end of this video, you'll have some biblical, yes, biblical marketing strategies that work. And you'll know how to put together marketing systems that serve people whether they buy from you or not. Now, here's what might surprise you. Some of the best marketing strategies are found in the book of Acts. Let's talk about how to share your message in a way that honors God and the people you're called to serve. But first, let me blow your mind with this truth. Contrary to popular belief, marketing is not about getting people to buy from you. Biblical marketing is about helping people find the solution they're already looking for. And as Christian entrepreneurs, we're called to solve problems in one way or another. Here's a mindset shift that changes everything. Marketing is about stewardship. God has given you gifts, skills, and abilities to serve others. Therefore, hiding them and you is not humility, it's poor stewardship. The people God has called you to serve are struggling, and they deserve to know that you exist and that you have the solution to their problem. Think about it. If you had a cure for a life-threatening disease, would it be humble to keep it a secret? Of course not. Think about it. If you had a cure for a life-threatening disease, would it be humble to keep that a secret? Of course not. Your calling is to be a good steward of what God has given you, and that includes making sure that the right people can find you. Stay with me because these next strategies from the early church are going to revolutionize the way that you think about marketing. The first strategy is to tell your story. The most powerful marketing strategy in Scripture is testimonies. In the book of Acts, the disciples didn't use clever sales tactics to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ. No, they just told their stories. They started with what their lives were like before Jesus, and then they described what happened when they met him and how their lives changed afterwards. It's really that simple. People were drawn to the transformation in their lives. Your story includes the challenges you faced that your potential clients are facing now, how you found the solution, usually through God's intervention, what your life looks like now, and what's possible for them. It's so simple, but here's what's hard to believe. So many Christian entrepreneurs are sitting on incredible testimonies, but they either don't realize it or they're not willing to share because they think it's bragging. But your testimony is not about you. It's about what God has done and what God can do for them too. The second strategy from the book of Acts is to serve first. Proverbs 11:25 says, "He who waters will himself be watered." When you consistently give valuable content, insight, and encouragement without asking for anything in return, you're planting seeds. And when you plant seeds, you can expect a harvest of what you've planted. Practical ways to serve first are to create content that solves real problems. You could offer free resources that genuinely help people. You could share insights from your journey without sharing your sales pitch at the end. Or you could sow seeds by answering questions in an online community or in real life. Strategy 3 is the one that a lot of people get caught up on, to be consistently present. Consistency beats intensity 10 times out of 10. It's better to show up once a week for a year than to post 20 times in a week and then not show up for 2 months. Remember what we talked about on day 4 regarding the client journey? Trust takes time. The disciples met and broke bread daily from house to house. They were consistent about meeting regularly around a common cause. Strategy number 4 is to speak to the heart. It's about being a voice of hope and truth in people's lives. Heart-centered marketing addresses the real emotions behind people's struggles, and this comes from knowing the pain points and the desires of the people you're called to serve. When you speak life and encouragement over people, you help them to move to another level. We see it all through Scripture from the Old Testament to the New Testament, where God called people up to their potential. He called Gideon a mighty man of valor when Gideon was hiding in the threshing room. And Gideon rose to his potential because God called that out in him. And we can do that for people too when God is speaking through us to encourage others. You can also share hope based on what you've seen God do for you and others. And finally, be vulnerable about your own journey and challenges, because that thing you might be wanting to hide out of shame could be the breakthrough moment for someone else. The fifth strategy is to build a community. The early church grew as they created a community that people wanted to be a part of. They shared meals, they did life together, and they all rallied around fulfilling their purpose with Jesus at the center of it all. Right now in the online world, communities are trending because people crave real connection. Modern community building involves drawing people around a common goal or cause, and then creating safe spaces where people can connect with each other. Once you have people inside your community, facilitate conversations, not just one-way broadcasts. Celebrate your community members' wins. Be genuinely interested in their lives. When people feel like they belong, they'll become your biggest advocates. And finally, strategy number 6 is to follow God's timing. Ecclesiastes 3 says, "To everything under heaven there is a time and a season." Notice seasonal shifts in your community's needs. Pay attention to which content resonates and when it falls flat. Don't force content when you're in a rest and receiving season. And trust that God will give you what you need to say when you need to say it. But here's the challenge. You have to slow down to hear God's voice and what He wants to say to you and through you. When you combine these strategies, something beautiful happens. Your marketing becomes ministry. Your content becomes encouragement, and your business becomes God's vehicle for changing lives. Well, you might be thinking, this all sounds great, but I'm already overwhelmed just trying to run my business. Tomorrow on day 7, we'll address the elephant in the room and talk about how you can build sustainable systems that help you avoid burnout. A profitable and sustainable business is built by following God's rhythm of rest and work. I'll show you how to build sustainable business systems using biblical boundaries, and why the most productive thing you can do might be to stop working so hard. But today I have a coaching question for you to reflect on. Which one of these strategies resonates with you the most? And where do you feel God stirring you to start? If you'd like help building a business that honors God, I've made available a limited number of coaching calls this week. Click on the link below and book a call with me. I really love to help you and encourage you to fulfill all that God's calling you to do in this season. Remember, you're not selling, you're serving. You're not promoting, you're proclaiming. You're not marketing, you're ministering. When you approach it from God's heart, people can feel the difference, and God will honor your faithfulness. See you tomorrow for day 7. Thanks for watching.